Nigeria's Oil and Gas Free Zones Authority exempts companies from the normal regime applicable to businesses in Nigeria, especially with regard to customs duty, immigration and tax. This way, the authority says it works to attract investments into the country. Hence, the OGFZA in 2017 set a target of generating a 50% increase in investments into Nigeria's oil and gas free zones over the next 3 years.
They are absolutely important because the government, the country are both looking for foreign direct investment. And the OGFZA, from the much or the little I know about it, was set up to coordinate this particular aspect of creating an enabling environment for investors, foreign investors, bringing their money, bringing their expertise to encourage trade and economic development within the West African sub-region, which Nigeria is strategically placed.
It's a deliberate government policy to encourage export and also local content. So Nigerian Customs Service is there to implement that government fiscal policy.
Collaborators who work with the authority mainly on duties and immigration, the Nigeria Immigration Service, and the Nigeria Customs Service describe the OGFZA's task as an important and deliberate one.
Immigration deals with the human aspect, and we deal with the goods.
We are, we are in charge of monitoring the exit and entry into Nigeria, movement of persons, in this case, expatriates specifically. For the expatriates to bring in, or foreigners to bring in their investment into Nigeria to help fast forward Nigeria's economic development, we need to create, like the government says, an enabling environment, ease of doing business. So what the government has done from the immigration point of view is to see how to make things easier for them to operate within the zone than outside.
A lot of incentive that government spelled out for oil and gas free zone authority, we are implementing. At our own level, so far so good, because they have many enterprises who are registered with on a oil and gas free zone. In fact, I think even last week they admitted about 6 new enterprises to import their things into free zone free. We monitor that.
Implementation of such policies, which aim to ensure inflow of foreign direct investments, therefore requires combined efforts between the Nigeria Immigration Service, Nigeria Customs Service, and other collaborators with the OGFZA. The goal to fast-track investment decisions and ensure that the ease of doing business is a reality. For the immigration, the core incentive is the elimination of the requirement of expatriate quota within the free zone. The customs say the relaxation of the mandatory Form M and industrialization duty rebates within the free trade zones are big wins, making the OGFZA a clearinghouse and a one-stop shop for investors.
Oil and gas free zone incentives. For immigration, the major incentive for the operators, and specifically what the government has done, is to eliminate the requirement for expatriate quota approval. Companies operating outside the zone, the free zone, are required by law to have expatriate quota approval. That is approval from the Supervising Ministry of Interior that authorizes any company desiring to bring in foreigners, expatriates to come and work in Nigeria. They are expected by law to obtain that expatriate quota approval, which is an authority for them to engage the services of expatriates in Nigeria. In the zone, in the free zone now, what the government has done is that bottleneck, so to speak, of having to go to Abuja, your accommodation, your life, your money, whatever it is that you have to pay, government has taken that burden away from them and said, for you operating within this free zone, you are exempted from expatriate quota approval. All that you are required to do is just to make sure that if you are coming to work, for example, to reside and work in Nigeria, all that you are required by law is that you come in with the appropriate visa that is subject to regularization, STR, you call it STR visa. You come in with your STR visa, which is going to be on a valid passport. Your company has written concerning you to the zone, to the authority, that your company also has the proper license with the authority, then it's a done deal.
In Nigeria, it's mandatory when you are importing to Nigeria that you open what we call Form M. You process it with Central Bank of Nigeria. But if you are importing into trade-free zone, that mandatory requirement is relaxed. You can make importation into trade-free zone without that mandatory Form M, and you don't pay duty into free zone. And another huge incentive is by the time you add value to the raw material imported there, and you are importing now into Nigeria, you have a rebate of up to 75% on the value of such item when you are going to pay the duty payable to the government.
The other incentive that you have is that the facilities for expatriates who are the driving force, so to speak. You're talking of foreign direct investment, for example, you are permitted to bring in your money, you are permitted to bring in your expertise. As a foreigner, you need a peace of mind to be able to do your work, to carry on with your investment. One of the advantages here is that what will have taken you several timelines to accomplish from our service headquarters or from the conventional state commands, Nigeria Immigration Service has brought close to the doorstep of the players at the zone. You don't need to go out.
They have many enterprises who are registered with on a oil and gas free zone. To import their things into free zone free, we monitor that. And they have the right to store as long as they want. Because in our system, we have what we call overtime good. After 28 days, if you don't clear it, we term it as unclaimed cargo. But under the oil and gas free zone, there is no time limit to the storage. You see, in custom, we have what we call fast-track facilities for compliant traders only. But we extended it to all the enterprise under the Free Zone Authority, whereby on arrival of your goods, they are transferred immediately to your premises. The examination is conducted there. But since we don't collect duty, the goods are left there for further value addition. And you don't need some mandatory requirement, like pre-arrival assessment report that you need to clear goods have been collapsed. So the authority has a bond, existing bank bond. So with this one, we process all the goods under that fast-track scheme. On arrival, the goods are transferred into your premises for further custom operations. They are far because, with our automation, whereby we receive the manifest online, even before arrival of the ship. As soon as the manifest is transmitted into our portal, the management of on the oil and gas free zone start processing the document. So everything is done even before arrival of the ship. The impact of on the oil and gas free zone authority on Nigerian economy is very encouraging, with the number of employment of both skilled and unskilled labor. And today you have many banks who are moving into ONE. That's to show you the growth on the part of the economy.
OGFZA actually now act as a kind of a clearing house, I would say, a kind of central processing unit for all the stakeholders within the zone. So instead of every one of the stakeholders going out one after the other, you just go straight to the authority. The authority liaises on your behalf and gets things sorted out. You don't need to start going round and round the circle. The authority goes round and round the circle so that you can have time and peace of mind to do your business.
For these collaborators, the incentives created by the Oil and Gas Free Zones Authority, in alignment with the vision of the Nigerian government, will birth what they call practical infrastructure development, moving the authority closer to its mandate of being a premier agency for promoting, securing and sustaining investments into Nigeria.
With the incentive government put in place, it's encouraging that we drag foreign investors, because so many things have been collapsed. Earlier on, I said that if you are importing back to Nigeria from the trade and free zone, you have 75% rebate. And when you are exporting to a foreign country, you don't pay anything. So it's encouraging.
In line with the federal government's vision and policy, the free trade zone actually encourages practical infrastructural development within the areas. There's no doubt about it. At least I've seen that one practically there. The kind of infrastructures you have within the zone, just go outside. It's a different ballgame, completely. It's completely. My desire is that actually Nigeria should borrow a big leap and continue to expand from the free zone concept.